publish. I see that. So we hope for the best and expect the worst. If you're on the YouTube and you're getting it, let me know so that I can know, because it is very important that I know that you're getting it. Yeah? So if you're getting it on the YouTube, are you getting it on the YouTube? Is YouTube happening? Or is YouTube happening? Tell me. Is YouTube happening? Are you seeing it yet on the YouTube? It says live stream offline. Live stream and stream now. Do it for me. Am I getting it? And it looks like it's trying to do something. And it looks like it's starting to do something. Are you seeing it? Somebody said good to go. Nice. So we will mute this. Thanks a lot. We still have a couple minutes. YouTube, you're inside before everybody else. So tell everybody what's happening. Tell them we're here and we're going forward. Yeah? Right. So we know the YouTube is on. So that is excellent business. I like going live with the rest of them on Facebook. Don't leave Facebook out for too long. Yeah? Let Facebook jump in. Facebook is jumping in now. So the Facebook crew is here. YouTube crew has had a couple extra minutes as I was realigning the whole YouTube universe, and that's up and running. Yeah, so I have to make one change while we see if anybody else is around interested in what we have to offer tonight, because if not, they have drinks selling all over the place, you know, and I could really go and substitute this water for vodka. They say vodka is good for vodkas are antioxidant, they say. I don't know if that's true. We have nobody on the Facebook Live. That means that the broadcast in trouble. 44 seconds in, it just clicked. So we see where we're going from there. Let me talk to the Facebook people on Facebook, because I'm getting nothing on the screen. Anybody here with me? A couple people, and they're coming in now, 9 o'clock on the dot. I guess they're not accustomed to me coming in a couple minutes early. That's cool. That's A-okay. Let's see what happens. We get a Friday night line going. I have something to tell you all, and I had to wait till we have enough people so I could tell you all. So while the crowd is arriving, whatever the size of the crowd is, because it's a Friday night, and you know, Friday night is Friday night. And yeah. So, but I have something important to say. Really important. Let me mute this. Can you mute this here? Muted. Right. We're getting somewhere. We're back on top with the YouTube people. Listen, you all need to come. You all need to share this. Share this. Share this. Share this. We're not going to have any kind of serious conversation till we have a crowd here. I see you pour your heart and soul out every night. It's such a fight to get people to see how their own constitutional rights. Maybe it's land of the brainwashed. Good luck. And take a rest this weekend. Well, if you only know, the friend who just sent me that, if you only know how savant you are, because somebody's going Japan. But we'll discuss that in a little while. How much we have? We're not getting any kind of numbers yet. Come on, people. Tell people we're here. Share up the video. You have to share it. That's how people get to know that we're here. Share it and let them know we're here. For the people who are going to see the video after, they're going to get this. Okay, so we've been talking a long time. You all need to hear this because it is important. My great-great-grandfather told me that he saw the Titanic, and that from the beginning he warned all the people that the boat would sink, but they ignored him. However, they were warned again on several occasions until they kicked him out of the cinema. Friday night, humor. Helen and Aaron Marquez, Hurricane. I don't have a video to share. But listen to this, total local. Start to run, start to run. Can it like that one? Anthony Mirage, open your eyes or you can be not seeing anything. Anthony Mirage, open your eyes. If that's not working, turn on the light. You're not hearing anything. See if you have on a helmet. See if it's wrong side. Look. Reboot, reorganize, come back. The YouTube live feed up and running. If you're not getting it on Facebook, take it over there. Tonight is going to be a very auspicious night because I am most likely, we knew it was coming, you all got enough of a heads up, but I might most likely be taking a vacation out of the country, and I do not think I will be able to do the lives. Today is Friday, 10th of November. If I did not say it before, Friday, 10th of November, so you could log that. Yeah, so this might be the last video for 2 to 3 weeks. And everybody gets to say, what no madness? But seriously, because the film needs to take a break, and I am thinking about going Japan. Yeah? Because every now and then, people need to get themselves in order. And there's a lot going on. And Shamala agreed that I need a vacation. Thank you. Shara is helped. Well, Shara is clearly packing my bag. Enjoy the vacation. Like, hold your tail and go. Nobody ain't care if you come back. Don't stay in Japan. Eh? All your slackers. So anyway, today being Friday, I went out to get something to eat. And of course, I went to Cooking Vibes and had a lovely, delicious lapchung shrimp fried rice with roast pork and Chinese style chicken. No MSG, just good cooking. Tastes real good. That's the only place I can eat Chinese food because I do not eat MSG. That Titanic joke though, that Titanic joke was very, very funny. I know that, child. I just joking. Japan for what? Saki? Yes. Anthony Mirage, like you finally get your video and your audio working again, my talks. So what will we do while you're gone? Now you see, that's the question. So I'm thinking of telling Maya to run Best of Phil because we have a lot of videos inside, or you could just miss me and gather every night and say, remember when it was so nice and Philip used to be here and talk nonsense every night? Yeah, you could do that. We still only have 136 viewers. Is everybody out drinking? Or is it 10? Nobody is supposed to have any money. This is like Trust Week. This is like Trust Week. Yeah? And tonight I saw, today actually, they have a couple well-known trolls, PNM and UNC. They have a PNM, they have two of them. Natalie, what's her name? Jaika something, and Ed Reed. One each. Join forces today against the PEP. I want to tell you, they can't even pretend anymore that they're different parties. Nothing separates those two constructs. The emphasis on the word con. Two constructs, the PNM and the UNC. You know, if you really look at this country, boy, if you really look at this country, anyway, just walk on a pavement anywhere, drive on a street, you don't have to go anywhere far, just step outside. Dave Locke says screen blank. Dave, boy, they're doing we all kind of thing. Flow is only know how to flow when you don't need flow to flow. Flow need to change their name to slow. Yeah, so that is the truth. The truth is nothing looks like the third wealthiest nation in the Western Hemisphere. Anthony Sinanan is saying hello to everybody. So we can make tonight's video very short, and we could just say, you know, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break for a couple of weeks, recharge. Government purchases pothole repair machine. I remember this. This was, you remember this? Tell me. Let's see here.
As of today, these trucks, which include 2 pothole patches, are being dispatched to trade directly with the issue of road maintenance. The exercise is part of the pothole repair program of the Ministry of Works and Transport, according to Minister Rohan Sinanan.
The ministry will respond within a week's time frame to all issues reported, providing, of course, that the issues fall within the purview of the Ministry of Works and Transport.
That man lying from day one. Rohan Sinanan come out him mother lying. Let me tell you something now. Hear that now. Hear that man now. Hey.
Week's time.
Yeah.
The ministry will respond.
You hearing it?
Week's time frame to all issues reported, providing, of course, that the issues fall within the purview of the Ministry of Works and Transport.
Which means, first of all, I don't know if he meant to say in a week's time, that the pothole repair trucks will respond in a week's time or in a week time, because they're doing it in a very weak time. And he said, if it falls under the purview of the Ministry of Works and Transport, what else it could fall under the purview of? Local government, yes, of course, but they are in the same cabinet. How could you lie to the people so easily?
An action plan to respond to the issues reported has been established. Upon receiving the report, a team will be dispatched to assess the matter and to advise the way forward.
Listen, upon receiving the report, a team will be dispatched. But Columbus was dispatched from Spain and got to Trinidad faster than Rohan Sinanan team seems to be able to find any potholes.
It says through the PURE program, 175 projects have been identified throughout Trinidad for fiscal 2016-2017.
So that means that clown was telling you that in 2016. 2016, 2017, everything goes. Anybody at any point in time has ever seen one of those pothole repair trucks, 800 men, that they bought? Who they bought it from? Who got that money?
Program for Upgrade Road Efficiency, PURE, has identified almost 200 projects throughout Trinidad for fiscal 2016-2017. This will commence this week. These projects relate mainly to drain works, landslips, desilting, and road rehabilitation. The program is expected to engage over 100 contractors in the small, medium, and large size categories.
Slow down. Because this is an interview about 2 pothole repair trucks. Mr. Man gone far from that.
These projects will create the opportunity for employment of about 1,000 persons.
Wow, 1,000 people cleaning river and fixing hole.
He says larger projects which will focus on traffic management measures will also be undertaken. He went on to list the projects.
Churchill Roosevelt Highway widening from Maloney to Mausika, the Churchill Roosevelt Highway widening from Mausika to Golden Grove, that's by the BWI Boulevard, the Sealots pedestrian overpass, the Solomon Holtroy Highway widening from Chaguanas to Chase Village, the Endeavour Interchange upgrade phase, the Caroni Savannah Road widening, Caroni Roundabout to Caroni Flyover at the Uriah Butler Highway.
PURE is also responsible for the Freeport to Cuba Parallel Access Road project, which will be launched by the ministry in a few days.
Now if you call out Priyanka Nanki soon tonight, because Priyanka is my friend, she says put on blast, but Priyanka's be calling up my name, right? Now, and I want to read something to Trinidad, because this is for the UNC trolls, and Priyanka has become a stalwart UNC troll. And I want to read this because, I mean, I hitting PNM hard, and I understand the PNM call for backup, and that's how the UNC end up giving them backup. But this is a document we put out today called Wholesale Corruption. You see, this is what you're going to miss, you know. This is what you're going to miss, because whoever read that news report in 2015 has never thought to check and see if it deserves a follow-up. Where's the pothole repair trucks? But nobody in the country, you see, government job is to fool you while they pick your pocket, And the media job is to distract you while government do it. Yeah? The Auditor General took issue with, this is Auditor General Report, October 1st, it's for the government's financial year 2012, October 1st, 2011 to September 30th, 2012. The Auditor General took issue with, this is the United National Congress government. Yes, they masqueraded as a people's partnership, but they had no partnership there. 1, the lack of inventory controls at the various ministries. That is a very serious issue. But they can't get into depth of anything at all because the reality is a lot. 2, signed lease agreements were not produced for several properties for which rental payments were made. 3 locations at the Ministry of National Security for a total monthly rental of $1.2 million. 1 location from the Ministry of the Attorney General for a monthly rental of $486,777. 5 locations from the Ministry of Food Production for a total monthly rental of $607,000. And 2 locations for the Ministry of Tobago Development at a total monthly rental of $92,000 a month. But I want you to go back to the 2 above. National Security and the Attorney General. National Security was stealing $1.2 million. The Attorney General's office was stealing $500,000. Why I say stealing? Because they were renting properties that there were no lease agreements for. That means they were not approved. Signed contracts were not provided for a number of contracts paid. 8 contracts at the Ministry of National Security amounting to $5.9 million were not seen. 17 contracts at the Ministry of Education amounting to $4 million were not seen. 4 contracts at the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure valued at $6.8 million were not seen, as well as 5 contracts at the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, which amounted to $2.3 million. Law enforcement. Replies we received from 26 permanent secretaries, heads of department, indicating that amounts totaling $224.4 million were paid to 2,239 persons employed in contract positions during the financial year ended 30th September 2012. The audit highlighted that duly executed contracts were not produced for several of these officers, and as such, the various terms of engagement could not be verified. 4. Overpayments. In the 2011 appropriation accounts, 5,280 cases of overpayment totaling $20,370,970.62. I want Priyanka and the rest of them in the UNC to come and answer this, Come and answer this. Of which 8,400,000 was recovered. In 2012, 4,531 cases of overpayment totaling $21,465,000 were reported, of which $8 million was recovered. Hear this, listen to this. Outstanding commitments. Several ministries made expensive commitments for goods and services, but have not paid up to the time of the audit. In other words, your budget done, you have no more money. So what you do is you take it on credit, because at the end of the day, the supplier will sue the state, and the state will have no choice but to pay the bill. Among them are the Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, and the Ministry of Energy and Energy Affairs. 6. Cases of theft and reported losses. For the financial year 2012, this was the UNC, there were 45 cases of theft and losses of state property totaling $700,000. This figure comprised 24 cases under 5,000, totaling $58,463, and 26 cases totaling $641,000. There were 5 cases in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, 18 cases in the Ministry of Education, 7 cases in the Tobago House of Assembly, and 6 cases in the Ministry of Food Production. All of this outright theft. 7. Errors, omissions from appropriations accounts. In seven ministries, there were increases in expenditure by more than 50% from 2011 to 2012. 1. In the Ministry of Sport, Anil Roberts, expenditure moved from 28.7 million in 2011 to 395.8 million in 2012, a variance of $367 million, or a 1,275% increase. That is the Ministry of Sport, Anil Roberts, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Blue Eye Boy. 2. In the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, expenditure moved from 514,999 million in 2011 to 2.4 billion, a variance of 1.9 billion, or 378%. In the Ministry of Transport, expenditure moved from 218.5, it was 514.9 million in 2011 to 2.4 billion in the Ministry of Infrastructure. In the Ministry of Transport, expenditure moved from 218.5 million to 1.1 billion, a variance of $843 million. In the Ministry of Planning and Sustainable Development, expenditure moved from 62 million to 208 million, a variance of 145 million. For those who come in late, this is under the United National Congress, wholesale corruption and theft. In the Ministry of Justice, expenditure moved from 126.5 million in 2011 to 408 million in 2012, a variance of 281 million, or 222%. In the Ministry of Gender, Youth and Child Development, expenditure moved from 46 million to 137.5 million, a variance of 90 million, or 194%. In the Ministry of Housing, Land and Marine Affairs, Munilal, expenditure moved from 1 billion to 1.9 billion, a variation of 924 million, or 90%. And certain ministries or institutions that receive state funding fell under the title Individual Areas of Concern. Among them are Office of the Prime Minister. In the appropriation account, there was an allowance for 195 persons on contract, which totaled $9.7 million in expenditure. However, when the Auditor General sought further clarification, it was indicated that only 55 people were engaged on contract, in respect of which expenditure totaled $689,131 was incurred. So where's the rest of that money? Ministry of Transport's errors, omissions, and inconsistent presentation of information among the various sections of the appropriation account were noted to be prevalent. The underlying records were also not maintained properly in all instances. The report noted that $55 million in checks were not presented to the Auditor General, as well as $108.8 million from the Treasury card. There were also inconsistencies in the information, and sums paid to contract employees. According to the appropriation contract, Auditor General, the sum paid for contracted employees was valued at $19.3 million. The Auditor General noted that there were weaknesses in the verification procedure for certain payments. That means they've not yet lined up who, and this is still 2012. 2 payments totaling 11 million were made. However, the statement provided with the payment total 5.6 million, a total of 5.3 million. You provided a statement for 5.6 million and you paid $11 million. This is the kind of madness that goes on. Now, I'll tell you why the PNM and the UNC getting on the way they're getting on against the PEP. Because the UNC needs that there be only one choice. Come election time. You see, they done talking, they talk, and they done lining up, you know. I had to tell my partner, you see this nonsense about who we linking up with and who we lining up with, miss us with that. Because we're not linking and we're not lining. But the UNC needs that there be only one choice come election time. You see, the game is, whoever in office, make them look so stink so that you could be changed. Only you could be changed. Only you could be changed. So the UNC panicking because the PEP is climbing and the UNC is collapsing. They can't get people to come out and vote. They can't get people to fill a classroom at the Monday night forum. The UNC in disarray. It's in a mess. 5 people having an argument. A Ramuta Singh, a Bharat, a Pasal Bisesa. The rest of them, people not taking them on. Nobody taking them on. The UNC is seen to have no hope, no choice. My partner Brian Stone lighting up Facebook, post after post after post. UNC soldiers to the front line. 6 likes, 8 shares. 8 comments. If he lucky, no shares. Day after day, hour after hour, post after post. UNC soldiers. Nobody taking him on. Because the UNC is not a real party. It never was. All the UNC was a construct to con Indian people. You see, like Hindu Credit Union, a construct to con Indian people. Take away their money, take away their vote. That's all it does. It does nothing else. It's never elevated the East Indian community beyond their status. In fact, there are many who believe that the UNC by its existence kept that entire demographic back, kept them back. Because everything that has to happen had to pass through a couple power brokers. And the people of those communities, all that flood and all that suffering that they take in still, it does not reflect the hundreds of billions of dollars that were spent. The Hindu Credit Union was set up for the Karani payoff. Funnel it all. They was spending money like it was like there was PNM. Because Eric Williams went mad, you know. They used to laugh. People used to laugh about the PNM under Eric Williams. You want to sell it? Go Trinidad. They will buy it. But they stop buying, they will buy it there, boy. Go Trinidad. I'll find him, Eric Williams. Go and talk to him. Just tell him it will make him look like a rich, powerful white man, and he will buy that. You ever see who Eric Williams used to surround himself with? Eric Williams posed with the Beatles. This country has been lied to and advantaged for 55 years. Can I change that alone? Of course not. I know that. Ed Reed father, Priyanka father, Natalie Jaikari, whatever her name is, she mother, Tanti and Tanti grandmother, all have been conned. All have been fooled. All have talked race bullshit and thought that, hey, once we in, we in. But not every skin teeth is a smile. And not every in is a in. My brother used to tell me, not all things that count are counted, and not all things that are counted counts. And that makes sense. That makes sense. Because you feel all away is one. But you find out after the fact that they had some who is more one than you. So when the all away is one, start off in 2010 and we chip in. Yeah, Darumai, we're going down with Darumai. One away, remember the one away bullshit? That was Indian speak. UNC Indian speak for racism. One away, use one away. Divide the country, divide the country, divide the country. Divide it. I watched that UNC fall apart under Pandey. Their slogan for the second election was, we come too far to turn back now. There was a team run inside an internal election inside the UNC because of Carlos John put out a statement that said, we come too far to turn black now. And I want you to understand, racism in this country is not natural. It is not endemic to the people. It is disgusting, and it is created on high to keep these two stunting, waste of time, corrupt organizations relevant. Because if black people not voting for black skin, black people have nothing to vote for in the PNM. But they twist so stupid. They can't tell you, hey, you could pick 5 black men, line them up, put Maxi Coffee in that line, and ask the average Trinidadian to pick Maxi Coffee out, and they can't. But they're cussing for Maxi. What? You twist them. You undereducate them. You beat them down. You imprison them. And can I free them? I don't know. Plenty better cock than me crow and end up in Palau. Watch Satmaraj. Like a wind-up doll. Wind him up and send him off. Indian this and Indian that. Squeeze his head. Listen to him. This next one, Kujo. Listen to them. Their job is to keep you divided and fooled. All of these holidays, all of these racial themed holidays, put on your dashiki, put on your kurta. It's to divide you and make asses of you. When Iraqi Faris and Chinese Stuart jump out themselves in a Diwali celebration and make two clowns of themselves trying to sing Indian music, all of that, dress up to the nines, was to divide you. In the disguise of uniting you. But it was to divide you. It was to identify the things that separate you. And politics in this country has never been about ideology. Nobody has ever said, let's take the country forward. Nobody could tell you what the vision of either the PNM or the UNC. They'll give you a list of to-do things in their manifestos. And those are usually, how are we going to thief your money? We don't read it like that. When they say, we are going to build a water reclamation plant in the Beetham. $1 billion. What the hell is that? What do we need it for? Why are we doing it? Who's getting the contract? And why is it worth $1 billion? How do you know it's $1 billion now and you've not put it out to tender as yet? How do you know? How do you know? The Cabo Star was pictured today loading cars to go to Tobago. And the people driving the car on the Cabo Star. Because Trinidadians don't know how to sacrifice. And the people who run these political parties know that. Eric Williams cuss us, insult us. He said, I could put a crapo in a Balize tie and black people so stupid they will vote for that crapo. Eric Williams said, we have 9-day minds. You leave them people in Trinidad, them stupid. I could do them what I want and in 9 days they will forget. Carl members say the same thing. I raise the price of gas 3 times and they may riot yet. In another country they would have. In another country they would have. Not in Trinidad. Because here, they've tied up our minds. We don't know where we're going. We don't know where we're going. So every election, they stunt out the talking heads, 2 Indian, 2 African, and a Chinese if you're lucky for balance. And they're all political scientists. You don't even need to study political science to be a political scientist, you know. You just need CNC3 or TV6 to want you talking their bullshit. And you come there and you talk about people base. UNC is not appealing to their base. PNM is reaching out to their base. What is your base? What is your base? What do they mean? What do they mean when they talk about your base? Is which, and they tell you, PEP can't win, you don't have a base. We do. Every single Trinidadian who fed up of the bullshit that has passed for politics in this country, all the racism that has fooled them while you advantaged them and stole their children's money, that is our base. That's our base. Our base is the 500,000 people who never vote. That is our base. Our base is the 50% of the PNM and the UNC that shame that is their only choices. That is our base. If we hit it right, election time, the PEP get 42 seats and the country only have 41 constituencies. We will win elections all up in Grenada. All in Guyana, they're counting votes, but PEP's well spread. Because you have to be an asshole to line up, sun or rain, and vote for either the PNM or the UNC. You have to be completely devoid of self-respect. Have no care or concern for your family or loved ones, and not care a damn about the country, to vote for either of those parties, because you cannot say, we voted for them in this year and got this. You never got anything. And nothing irritates me more than hearing PNM people talk about the PNM education. First of all, some of the schools that are considered prestige schools, that are the only schools that really do well, they are operating in this country 200 years before Eric Williams' father knew his mother. So the PNM didn't build Fatima and St. Mary's and Holy Name and St. Joseph and Presentation. The PNM didn't build that. What the PNM built is the schools that mass produce security guards and KFC cashiers. That's the PNM education. And that's nothing to boast about. And I apologize to the parents of the children that went to those schools, and I commiserate with the children who only found out 5 years later that they were wasting their time. That nothing that was going on in those schools had anything to do with education. Yeah? So,
I wanna fly.
let me hear Kurt say it now.
Fly up to the sky. You went to see change up, things rearrange up. This is since they get rid of the past. Let the past be the past. You went to see brand new. They're going to tell you. This is since the humble don't vanish. The party have no more rubbish. But when I look around, what do I see? Recycled politicians. I see kangaroos like Assam and Logan, hopping from bandwagon to wagon. So the polish and shine, they fall back in line. But that cannot keep my mind. Jump high, jump low, whether sun or rain.
I ain't falling for that again.
It's the same faces, new administration, blowing new positions, with a brand new chief, UNC, the same bunch of scamming thieves. When the airport billions disappear, remember, Rudlal was right there. When the English banker come didn't declare,
Vasant, you was right there.
but they changed their pants and they changed their skirt. They changed their blouse and they changed their shirt. They even changed
Kamla,
their style
you was
and
right
they
there.
changed their stinking underwear. Change. I said for change. I wanna fly. Fly up to the sky. PNM vibrant, sounding triumphant. With Rowley on the platform, everybody acting like norm. PNM ready, they say the ship's steady. No confidence motion aside, the body say have nothing to hide. But when I look around, what do I see? Yes men politicians, I see the good, the bad and the ugly, going back for re-election. So this way it's the truth and investment in youth. That is what we are told. But now I'm wondering more, is it people who easier to control? It's the same faces who support the Rowley plot, who supported you the cut. Still in disbelief, look around, the same bunch of scamming thieves. When Dr. Rowley was tossed in the air, remember, him both was right here. When Calda was balancing in full glare, remember, Conrad was right there. But they changed the socks and they changed the shoe. They even changed makeup artists too. They put on perfume smelling like a rose, but they had changed their stinking underclothes. Change. When Calda changed. I wanna fly. But they changed the socks and they changed the shoe.
Yeah? True talk. change. They change and change and they change and they change and it's still the same. So you vote in the PNM to get rid of the crooked UNC. And then you vote in the UNC to get rid of the crooked PNM. And then you vote in the PNM to get rid of the same crooked UNC. And look where we are now. So what do you do? What do you do? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What is different now? We have social media. That's about it. But social media has changed the world. Social media has changed the world in ways that the world still coming to terms with. The number one hotel company in the world doesn't own a single hotel, doesn't own a single property. They're the biggest real estate company in the world. The number one transportation company in the world. They own a car, they own a train, they own a bus. Uber. What's the other one? The housing one. You could travel and stay in other people's house. The point is, and look at what we're on. We're on Facebook. We're broadcasting live. We're broadcasting live simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook. All of this is social media. All of this is social media. Right now, while I'm talking, anybody talk to you while they're talking, you could Google and verify if what they're saying is fact or foolishness. You could. And you have at your fingertips all of the information in the world. They can't block it. They can't stifle it. What they used to do prior to social media is, you see like Guardian, the Guardian headline today is speaking for government against the PSA and their strike against the Revenue Authority. Now they're wording it in such a way to make you feel and manage the perception that the workers not going to strike. And if I was the Guardian, I wouldn't play so foolish. Because Airbnb, thank you Delwood, Airbnb is the name of the place. But I wouldn't be so foolish because Duke have a play. And he will play that play. Thank you Edwin, I got it from Delwood, but Airbnb is the name of the place. And the name of the game long ago was book up all the airtime and control the conversation through the newspaper. So only one side of the story. You all saw it yesterday. You all saw where the government broadcast only the government's side of the story yesterday. Trinidad has gotten dangerous. Trinidad has gotten very dangerous. Somebody sent me a video today of police going to serve a warrant on a house and a woman, and she's asking for information, and to hell with she, them cutting up and busting up and breaking up. Now, I don't know that is how it is done. And I went and did my research and to find out how a warrant is served. And I'm saying that the social media is contingent on one thing, that it educates you and you act on that education. You have to act on that education. You can't be distracted by foolishness. You can't still, with all of that knowledge at your fingertips, make stupid choices. Because if you go back to vote for the UNC for only to spite PNM and black people, you would get that. You would get that. But that doesn't take care of your family. That doesn't fix education. That doesn't reduce the cost of living. That doesn't help you own a home. That doesn't fix healthcare. You would have spited black people, yes. You could have an Indian stand up and tell Shamfa, it's we time now, because Shamfa said it. And every election, Colm said it before, you know, every election, one jackass is given the battle. You go and say the we time now foolishness. We in charge. And that's all they get. You get to clap, wave your flag, and go home hungry. Hungry belly. Daddy, we have no food in the house. Shut up, UNC in power. They're breaking down the house. Shut up, UNC in power. It means nothing. It means nothing to you that your side win. It means nothing. It's like I used to watch football. I used to tell people, my TV is only for football. But I used to do sales. Now, I'll tell Trinidad and Tobago something. Argentina is my team. I love Argentina Football Club and I love that team and I support Argentina coming and going as a global football power, right? But I'm doing sales for a living and I out on the road in the morning and I talking to a client and my client telling me, Brazil is the best in the world, and hell yes, Brazil is the best in the world. Or Germany is the best in the world. Hell yes, Germany is the best in the world. Because in my mind, I like Argentina. But Argentina not paying me when they win. When Argentina win and all of we jumping up and panicking, or Brazil win and we gathering, we really don't get nothing. Even if Trinidad win. If Trinidad was to win the whole World Cup, still, we have nothing to get. Us personally. We could party in St. James and on the Avenue for 2 days straight. All we did was lost 2 days. We drunk, we have some memories, yeah, cool. But we get nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. That segue into the conversation was not to invite everybody to tell us which football team they're following. All I'm trying to say to you is this. Voting for people because they look like you is foolishness. Worse, voting for people to spite other people. You ever hear the saying, cut off your nose to spite your face? That saying literally means, I know Trinidadians just twist it and say cut off your nose to spoil your face. That don't make no sense. The actual saying is cut off your nose to spite your face. It's like you're vexed with your face, so you cut off your own nose to punish your face. Because that's what you do. That's what you do. If you vote for the UNC to spite the PNM, all them PNM sufferers that you laughing at, you laughing at them up to their waist in Gobar. You in the same Gobar, but you laughing at them because you in Gobar, but we in Gobar in yellow. Kamal Lochan, the saying is cut off your nose to spite your face. Chinese twist it. Cut off your nose to spoil your face don't make no sense at all. Exactly, Varsha. Self-sabotage. You cannot win and lose at the same time and celebrate your victory without acknowledging your defeat. But even that is not as important as having the common sense to learn. And we have to learn. Because they have different types of people in the country, basically 4 types of people. They have the people who vote for the PNM no matter what. And they have the people who vote for the UNC no matter what. They have people who don't vote at all. And then they have the people who will try a PNM and try a UNC, hoping at some point that this frog and this scorpion, those things we halfway across the river. And it will never work. I am in politics. I am not even. I mean, we big, we huge. People know PEP have real potential. I'm watching them. You see, I don't listen to what you say, you know. I listen to what you do say. You see, when all you start to panic and attack me mercilessly, you know, pen, stone, and barren tree, or you're coming at me hard, stink, again it from both sides, and that tells me you're worried. You need to shut Philip Alexander up. You need to shut the PEP down. Because the PEP might just upset the order. It might just upset the order. Come election time, you have to deal with us. Come election time, the Progressive Empowerment Party is on the ballot already. And we already on a campaign footing. You could only come to stunt. You could only come to give them the same nonsense. Both of y'all, red and ready and yellow and steady. Vote for we because we care about you. We walking down in PNM areas with their poster. Look, Emery Brown in Diego Martin Central. He say he care about you, but leave Diego Martin Central to suffer. And he in Brazil, living nice, eating caviar and steak. We will show you. We will show you. They care about you. They care about you. But La Puerta can't get water. They care about you. They care about you. But Factory Road, close your doors as soon as the sun starts to set because it's beast in human form. But they care about you. Mova, Beatam, Lavantel, and Silots. Come and see PNM Caring in full flight. The Progressive Empowerment Party has already changed the game. What we do from here is important. Politics, the political landscape is no longer the same. This is not the time of ONR and NAR and COP. This is not that. Those parties were built out of previous parties. ONR was Carl Hudson Phillips fallout with Eric Williams and join up with the DAC who fall out with Eric Williams to form the alliance, and that alliance link up with Pandey to make the National Alliance for Reconstruction. And within 1 year, as Krokro say, three borat can't live in one hole. Mash up. So you win in 86, you mash up in 87, Pandey formed Club 88 that become the UNC. This is not then. None of what is going on now is a reaction to the other political parties. None of what the Progressive Empowerment Party is about has anything to do with them. We exist in spite of them. The Progressive Empowerment Party is here to obliterate them. We are here to expose all that went on in this country and show you what should have been here. We have the entire Singapore blueprint. Singapore and Trinidad grow up side by side. And yes, they have a different government style, but they have people who will tell you that we have more freedom in this country, and that could be challenged because some people never see freedom in this country, no matter what they tell you about democracy. Like them people today, when police was there, cutting and busting and breaking, she had nobody to call. Nobody. And this is a country where you're not sure if the police in your yard is real police. And she had nobody to call. And while Maxie, stunting in Washington, spending $12,000 US a day of taxpayer dollars, there are little children in this country dying who will never get that. Who will never get that. And that is the biggest crime of all. That politicians in the PNM and the UNC have made a mess for everybody. And you don't know who to turn to. And you don't know who to trust. It's hard for you to trust the PEP. It's easy for them to damage people's name. And that's all they have to do. Because you're so accustomed to being advantaged. It's hard for me to take this break that I have to take. I do this show every night because I need to keep you on message. And I need to keep you on point. You need to remember what really is this country. What's going on in this country. It is easier for the power brokers to get their business fixed than it is for you to get redress for any advantage. There is an illusion of a democracy in this country. You have freedom to get drunk and wine. That's it. Because as long as you're bent over, drunk, somebody will service you. And that's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want. They need you sober enough to work and spend your money, and then drunk enough to not care about what they're doing here. I know there are people in this country who will never vote PNM and UNC because of us. The couple stunters that come on my wall to tell me, you had me, but I can't vote for you again after Maxi Coffee. Miss me with that bullshit. I never had you. Because if I had you, you'd be on my side, kicking who's spending that money. Because to take Maxi from Trinidad to the States, you required professional doctors and nurses and an air ambulance, and all that costs money. All of that costs money. And the average person don't get that. The average person don't get traffic to park for them to pass in the morning because they're late to get doubles. The average person don't get that. The average person not getting that. And you have to understand that when you come at me, I see what you're not saying. Because you're not telling me why you was choosing the PEP in the first place. And it takes something to wake people up. And I am not an ass. I am not an ass. I am not doing this to waste your time or mine. I know that we in a bad way. I don't know if you know. But I meet people, and the moment that it dawns on them, you could tell You could tell they get weak. They get weak when they realize, Jesus Christ, this was what they did. This is where we could have been. This is where we could have been. The money that has been spent in this country, building burglar proofing, hiring security guards and putting in burglar alarms, could have rescued the at-risk communities 4 times over and make you never need a burglar proofing in your life. But we've been divided and set apart from each other. We've been set off and set against each other. So we don't know who to trust. And I am saying to Trinidad and Tobago, unclench your fist and join hands, because we have one chance. One chance. When they say, is we time now, and you say, is we time now, they're talking for a different way, and it don't include you. They don't include you. Trust me when I tell you. I have been in the belly of the beast. When you see they fight me back so hard, it's because they know that I know. And we must end up on a campaign trail. And God bless and cover Vasant Bharat if he win that election. Because I want to expose him in the UNC. They have certain people in politics in this country more disgusting than others. And Vasant Bharat is one of them, believe it or not. Them fellas in it for one thing only, they self. They couldn't tell you what sufferation is. They don't know. They never taste that. They come from that. They believe that your job, your role is to make sure they go higher. Remember Mr. Olive Oil Drizzler? The middle class job is to keep the lowest class from the 1%. You need a next 1% government. Think it through. Think it through. And Keith Rowley told the nation that he is the blackest man in Trinidad and Tobago. And to paraphrase Mr. Lannister on Game of Thrones, any king who has to say that he is king is no real king. Any black man that have to remind you he black, yeah, he black. Keith Rowley is a Oreo. Black outside. He ain't no black man. Trust me when I'm telling you that. That rattan chair that he sit down on with Goodwood Park, that rattan chair never find itself in Abbey Pujad and Lansmitan and Big Yard and Scorpion. Never find itself there. But it is them put Keith Rowley in government. And it is them put Keith Rowley in office for 31 years. That rattan chair didn't reach La Puerta, but his La Puerta feed his 2 daughters. That rattan chair didn't reach Rich Plain, but his Rich Plain funnel money to the 2 outside sons he never acknowledged till after election. That rattan chair didn't reach Bagatelle, but his Bagatelle money that keep his wife smiling and focused all of these years. But Keith Rowley knows that he don't speak black. Keith Rowley speaks white. That's who he speaks to. That is the truth. Because to this day, every single time there has been an election in this country, the poor people, divided, black and Indian, at the lowest level, always come out the worst. It don't change. Nothing don't change. And if you get a road, if you get a box drain, it'll do for you. It do for the contractor who get the contractor bill it. You are a collateral beneficiary. It is you that they blame to give a $100 road for $1 million. How do you change 55 years of brainwash? That happens one person at a time. If we are to save this country, a revolution of hearts and minds, people need to start looking for all the Maxi coffees. People have to not only wake up and say, wait now, we could put Maxi on life support and love him up and play with his toes and nibble on his ears and have representation in the parliament. Wait now, we could go and hug up Maxi even though he brain dead in the Port of Spain General Hospital. It don't have to cost us $12,000 US in Washington, and we could still Make sure La Hoqueta, Talparo have somebody sitting in the parliament when the speaker call it to order. You mean that can happen? You see, that is when you know we're waking up. When everybody say, Philip, you're damn right. They're fooling we. They're making jackasses of we. And it is time to vote all of them out of office. Because until that day comes, they will continue to expect you to work against yourself. And that is what has been done every election since they lowered the Union Jack and raised the red, white, and black. They have conned you into fighting among yourselves at the bottom for scraps while they eat well upon the table. It is time for you to seize the table. Elections delivers the table to you. It is time for all the people of Trinidad and Tobago to get their rightful seat at that table. You were never meant to eat scraps, but Eric Williams fooled you. Arthur Napoleon Raymond Robinson fooled you. Carl Hudson Phillips fooled you. Carl Hudson Phillips with the Public Order Bill. You know what the Public Order Bill was? Go and read that. You're going to need permission to come out your house. Trinidad nearly went more dictatorial than Singapore. Check that. The Public Order Act. Remnants of that bullshit law is what makes us have to ask permission to march. In the United States of America, right now, tonight, you could call a march in 15 minutes, 2 million people in the street. In Trinidad, you have to write the commissioner of police. They've all lied to you. Basdeo Panday lied to you continuously. Lied. Stood up in Piarco Airport saying, I believe we can fly, knowing that his partners in crime stole billions of dollars and put the same people who vote him into office in further poverty. Basdeo Panday lied to you. Kamla Persad Bissessar lied to you for 5 years. Everything that went on in her government, in every aspect and part of her government, they want you to believe she was clueless. And I want to ask you a question. If all of that corruption and all that wrong went on in her government and she was clueless to it, you really want somebody that clueless back in government? You have to know. And if you don't know, if you're not running your government, you shouldn't be Prime Minister. That is the truth. But they have broken your mind, many of you. And you have a responsibility now to rip off those shackles, throw open those bars on your brain, on your mind, walk out free. Tell them, I see you just for who you are. You want to talk to me? Talk to me from that position. Step one, apologize. Let me hear you apologize, because they owe you an apology. They owe the entire nation an apology. What they've done, all of them, what they've done, criminal. Criminal. Trust me when I tell you. Before it's that, the hardest thing, go and talk to any psychiatrist, any psychologist. The hardest thing for any child to admit is that they've been victims of abuse by their parents. Physical, sexual, mental, any kind of abuse. The hardest thing for a child to admit, any child, is that the people who were supposed to care for them advantage them. That the people who were supposed to take care of them took advantage of them. That is the hardest thing to face. To the members of the PNM and the UNC, I understand, you know. I feel it. I know. You think this easy? I know. To call out friends and family every single day is to lose. I know. I lose daily. But I want you to understand this. You have to begin the process of your own rescue. The advantage will continue until you do.
Will decide our destiny. Your vote will decide what you want to be. Your vote can protect our country's fate. But use it well before it's too late. If it is that who you're voting, baby, or not out. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is they prove it to be your people about. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time is now that change should come about. Just as how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they can see, vote them out. Stain your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Put them out with total skull and out of the state. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power to be dangerous. Let's put our country together again.
Tomorrow at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Come out in your numbers. We will be there. The entire team will be there. Come and be a part of the conversation. That will be my last PEP appearance for the next 3 weeks. I am going on vacation. As I told you all before I start the video, there will be a 2 to 3 weeks, I think it's 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, vacation on the videos. So I am apologizing in advance, but when we come back, we will be coming back well rested and hitting them harder. The party will continue its work and we continue to grow. Come out tomorrow, Saturday, at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Come and be a part of this. And yeah, peptrinbago@gmail.com. That's the email address. peptt.com, www.peptt.com. Pep app, PEP, available on all the app stores, free of charge. Download it so you keep updated. And listen, we could say this 100 million different ways. At the end of the day, the change that you want for a better country starts with you. Each and every one of you. It starts with you. I am doing my part. Others are doing theirs. The entire PEP party is working overtime. But you have to step up and you have to step out. And until you do, nothing is going to change. It begins and it ends with you. So I'm hoping to see all of you, as much of you. Everyone who is watching this video tonight, contact everybody on your friend list. I want to see 100 posts telling people tomorrow at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue, be in Progressive Empowerment Party headquarters. Add your voice, add yourself, add everything you could bring to the table to help us be the change that we want to see in this country. Because if we do not fix it, nobody else will. Yes? So until tomorrow, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.